welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our weekly seminar for the Center of Excellence in Biodiversity and Natural Resource Management. I'm really happy to see so many people here. Today we have a presentation by Deogratias Tuyisingize. He is a researcher at the Karasoke Research Center with the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund International, and he is also a PhD student at University of Rwanda, and he's also done quite a lot of training and teaching with University of Rwanda students. So he's just all around a great guy, a researcher, a teacher, educator, good colleague, and we're really glad to have him here giving his talk about his research with the golden monkey. And I think most of you know, but the golden monkey is an endemic species found here in Rwanda. We know Rwanda is a biodiversity hotspot, so it's very exciting to hear about one of the species that makes this region a biodiversity hotspot. And I think that's mostly all I want to say about Deo and his talk right now. So I'm going to hand it over to Deo and just remind everybody, feel free to put any questions or comments in the chat room as Deo is speaking, and we'll try to get to all of them. And then also you can have an opportunity to unmute at the end, but please keep your microphones muted during the talk. All right, thanks so much, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Deo.
Let me upload my presentation.
And you could put your video on if you want, so we could see you briefly again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, great. Do you see my presentation?
Yes, we do.
Thanks so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my presentation. First of all, I'd like to thank Beth and Daniel for inviting me to provide this presentation. Thank you, Beth, for your great introduction. My name is Deogratias Tuyisingize. Just call me Deo. As Beth said, I work for the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund International as a biodiversity program manager. I'm also a PhD student at the University of Rwanda, and my PhD project looks at the ecology of the monkey and the habitats in Rwanda. My PhD has almost 5 chapters, and I'd like to share with you my chapter 3 and chapter 4, which looks at the status and distribution of the golden monkeys in Rwanda, but also includes other primate species in Gishwati. And without taking too much time, as you may know, land use and land cover changes are the main threats affecting biodiversity, especially in tropical forests, which contain up to 90% of global terrestrial diversity. Habitat changes, together with the climatic changes, can result in poor habitat quality. And poor habitat quality can affect food distribution, species distribution, and reproduction of many species, including primates. This map here shows the distribution of tropical forests, where most of those forests are affected by deforestation. And it is expected that between 2010 and 2030, most of those forests will be affected with serious deforestation. Unfortunately, those forests are the major habitat of primate species. Therefore, given that the tropical forests are under habitat change, habitat loss, this led to the decline of primate species, where over 70% of primate species are declining as a result of habitat change. The Rwandan Rift is one of the areas affected by habitat changes. For example, the western part of Rwanda, where the Virunga massif and the Gishwati Forest were connected back in phase. For example, the Volcanoes National Park was connected to Gishwati Forest, and the Volcanoes National Park has lost more than 50% of its original size. The Gishwati Forest went through different series of habitat loss. First of all, in the 80s, a World Bank project cleared most part of the northern part of Gishwati for animal husbandry project, and also in order to find areas for pinus plantation. In the 90s, more forest clearance happened in Gishwati in order to provide more settlements areas for local communities, and also land for pastures. And in the 2000, less than 10 square kilometers left in the Gishwati Forest. Thanks to the government of Rwanda, which helped in restoring a part of the Gishwati Forest, where today the Gishwati Forest is around 18 square kilometers. Primate species can adapt to different fragments. For example, they can adjust their group size and group density in addition to the forest fragments. They can even rely on available resources, and they can live in fragmented areas, regenerate the forest, and plant the forests. The golden monkeys, lhoesti monkeys, and the eastern chimpanzees are one of those primate species which can live in fragmented forests. Here, the golden monkey is an endangered species, endemic to the Rwanda Rift region. They are, the golden monkey is only found in the Virunga massif. The Virunga massif is a compound of 3 national parks, including Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, Rwanda National Park in Congo, and Virunga National Park in Uganda. The second and only habitat of golden monkey is Gishwati Forest. Golden monkey is also found in Gishwati Forest. The second habitat of lhoesti monkeys is in Rwanda is Nyungwe Forest. Lhoesti monkeys is considered as a vulnerable species following IUCN guidelines. The endangered chimpanzees is also found in Gishwati Forest in Rwanda. The second habitat of eastern chimpanzees in Rwanda is Nyungwe National Park. Of course, those primate species live in the voluntary forest, and globally their population are declining as a result of habitat loss, but also as the effect of hunting, specifically for lhoesti monkeys. In order to more understand how those primates, especially golden monkey, cope with the fragmentary forests, we had 3 different research questions. The first one is to know what is the current trend in the golden monkeys population in Rwanda. The second one was to know how illegal human activities distributed in the golden monkey habitats, and what is the impact of Gishwati landscape restoration on primate species. We have studied golden monkeys in the Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda. As I said before, the Volcanoes National Park is a part of Virunga massif, which has Virunga National Park on the side of Congo and Kahinga National Park in Uganda. Our second study area is Gishwati Forest, where we have the remnant tropical forest. Remnant tropical forest is the part of Gishwati Forest, which I said before, which had less than 10 square kilometers in 2000. And following the efforts of Rwanda, here you may see the restored forest, which together with the remnant tropical forest form the Gishwati Forest, part of Mukura of National Park. Here, the gray color showed the restored forest planted in the 80s. Those forests are dominated with the pinus plantations. And the white color shows forest planted in the 2000. This part of fragment is dominated with Allochrocebus plantation. For golden market surveys, we have used both line transects and reconnaissance works. We have surveyed the golden markets in the Volcanoes National Park in 2007, in 2011, and 2017 and 2018. We also surveyed the golden monkeys in Gishwati Forest between 2017 and 2019. Sorry, 2017 and 2018. In 2019, we have also used both line transect and reconnaissance works in order to survey primate distribution in the Gishwati landscape. Here, line transects were located in the tropical montane forests and the restored forests of Gishwati, Mukura National Park. We also located reconnaissance trails in the forest planted in the 80s and the forest planted in the 2000s. While recording data during the surveys, for monkeys, we have recorded GPS locations of the detected animals or monkeys. We have recorded the campus bearing and the number of sighted golden monkeys or lhoesti monkeys. We also recorded the distance from the transects and the face detected monkeys. For chimpanzees, we also only recorded nest, and we recorded the GPS location of any sighted nest. We also recorded the number of sighted nest, the distance from the observer to the nest, and the height where the nests are located in the trees. In addition to that, we have used patrols in order to record the distribution of illegal human activities in the Volcanoes National Park and the forest, and we have recorded any encountered illegal human activities such as bamboo cuts, firewood collection, or field works. For data analysis, we mainly used our vision in order to analyze our data, and specifically for producing density for golden monkeys. We have used point process modeling, including its packages. Its package named SPASTAT. SPASTAT works as a distance program for those who knows the distance program and how it works in order to produce density along the transects. So that's how SPASTAT works. But SPASTAT has limitation because it may not produce variation around the density. Therefore, we have used a delta methods in order to estimate the variation around average group density. And we used QGIS in order to produce maps of distribution of legal activities, and also to produce maps for on the distribution of primate species in the study areas. As a result, for the golden marquee distribution between 2007 and 2018, we have recorded a total of 35 observations of golden monkeys in the Volcanoes National Park during 2007. We also recorded 44 observations in the Volcanoes National Park during 2011, and we recorded 117 golden monkey observations in the Volcanoes National Park in 2017 and 2018. In Gishwati, we have recorded a total of 75 observations of golden monkeys in Ishwati Forest between 2017 and 2018. In general, the golden monkeys were found in the bamboo zone of the Volcanoes National Park, while in the Gishwati Forest, the golden monkeys were found in the remnant tropical montane forest of Gishwati. This is about, in Gishwati, this is in 2017 and 2018. For the golden monkey density and the population size between 2007 and 2018, in the general group size, hello?
Sorry, I think it was somebody with their microphone off, or on rather. Jean de Dieu, maybe you could put your microphone off.
Okay, that's right. For the group size range and the sighting rates, Gishwati Forest had a lower group size rates comparing to the observations in the Volcanoes National Park. In addition, the Gishwati Forest has a low average group density comparing to the average group density observed in the Volcanoes National Park. The surveys in the Volcanoes National Park have estimated similar average group density despite different variation across the mean. But the latest survey in the VNP during 2017-2018 had resulted in a small variation around the mean. For the total population size, we can take the latest survey in the Volcanoes National Park during 2017 and 2018, where the latest total population size in the Volcanoes National Park is 4,626 golden monkeys, while the Gishwati population is estimated around 172 golden monkeys. For the primate distribution in the Gishwati fragments during 2019, here the results shown that 3 primate species were found in the tropical mountain forest, and those primate species are chimpanzees, lhoesti monkeys, and the golden monkeys. So those three primate species were found in the remnant tropical mountain forest. Only golden monkeys and chimpanzees were found in the restored forest, and only golden monkeys was found in the pinus-dominated planted forest in Gishwati. Unfortunately, no primate species found in the recently planted forest, which is connected with pines plantation. For encounter rates and the social group size across primates in 2019, here we could say that the restored forests had a lower sighting rates, encounter rates, and the mean social group size comparing to the remnant tropical or mountain forest. But this is good news because, as you may remember, we did not see any primate species in the restored forest during 2017 and 2018. So this is good news that we have those sightings in the restored forest of the Gishwati, restored part of forest and the Gishwati forest. For the illegal activities, we have recorded many activities in the bamboo zone of the Volcanoes National Park. And as a reminder, the bamboo zone is the main habitat of the golden monkeys in the Volcanoes National Park. And we found bamboo cats, feral dogs, snails, and water crickets as the main threats to the golden monkey habitats in the Volcanoes National Park. In the Gishwati forest, bamboo cats, grazing, and the firewood collection were the main illegal human activities found in the Gishwati forest. As discussion, the golden monkey population mostly uses the bamboo zone in the Volcanoes National Park and the Afro-montane forest in the Gishwati forest. These forests provide chill food and shelter for golden monkeys and for other primate species living in the study areas. The VNDP population appeared to be stable between 2007 and 2018, despite large variation around density in 2007 and 2011. And I'd like to mention that the large deviation around the mean during those during 2007 and 2011 surveys are due to the low sampling efforts, which may result in a large deviation around the density estimate. The golden monkey density in the Volcanoes National Park are close to the previous estimates from Gahinga Gorilla National Park in Uganda, and also it is closely related to the blue monkeys in the Kakamega Forest in Kenya. And the density estimate from the Gishwati forest is more similar to the blue monkeys living in the log forest, for example, in Rwanda National Park. And here we may say that habitat loss may have contributed to having a lower density estimate in the Gishwati forest. There were no primates recorded in the restored forest part of Gishwati during 2017 and 2018 surveys, and we think that a narrow corridor connecting both tropical montane patch of the forest and the restored forest patch of the Gishwati forest were the main barrier to the movements of primates between the two patches. And in 2019, we have recorded both golden monkeys and the chimpanzee nests in the restored forest. And I would like to mention here that the restored forest is also a part of the Gishwati Mukura National Park, so that it is under protection. These indicate that the restored forest has expanded available habitat for these species. This study provides evidence of the presence of endemic and endangered golden monkeys in the forest planted in the 80s. And here we can say that the planted forest may have, might be a sink habitat for not only golden monkeys, but also for chimpanzees and the lhoesti monkeys. And the golden monkeys is there maybe because golden monkey has a high diet flexibility, which may allow them to live in those forests. But future studies need to document how the planted forest can affect the golden monkey population. The study species are exposed to both natural predators. And the study sites have carnivores and the cats, and those are potential predators to golden monkeys and to lhoesti monkeys, but also chimpanzees were observed hunting golden monkeys in Gishwati. In addition to that, human-induced threats such as bamboo and field collection, grazing, and the feral dogs are also the main threats to the primate species in the study area. And the illegal human activities are suspected to have contributed to the golden monkey population decline in the Mugahinga Rwanda National Park. Furthermore, it is expected that climate change will affect habitat for golden monkeys and the habitat for lhoesti monkeys, as well as the chimpanzees in the near future. Therefore, future studies need to better understand the impact of human-induced threats to the golden monkeys and other habitat in the Volcanoes National Park and the Gishwati Forest. As a conclusion, our latest surveys in 2017 and 2018 has provided a recent and accurate estimate to the golden monkeys in the Gishwati and in the Volcanoes National Park population size. Thus, we think that this recent estimate can serve as a baseline to future population trends. Given that we have observed primate species in the restored Gishwati National Park, we think that the forest restoration actions need to continue and also consider future forest extension strategy by prioritizing key food and habitat for primates living in the Gishwati and the Volcanoes National Park. Given that illegal human activities still persist despite improved protection, we think that action plan is needed in order to improve protection of golden monkeys and other primates living in the study areas in order to ensure their long-term survival. And this action plan can address the current threats to the habitats and also promote the peaceful cohabitation between primates and local communities. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Deo. Thank you very much. Wow, we're up to 50 people here, and I'm hoping that some of you have questions, and I want to invite you to either write your questions in the chat room, or you can unmute and ask a question. Feel free to do that. So I want here to invite anybody to ask a question. Any questions? Well, while we're waiting, I'm going to ask a quick question. Deo, on your data for group size, you have a big range of 2 to, I forget, 30 or something. And, you know, having studied Cercopithecus monkeys, I know they can kind of move like amoeba through the forest and from tree canopy to tree canopy or even on the ground. So how confident are you about that big range? Was it possible that two individuals were actually just on the edge of a moving group, or you're sure that they really were individual groups? And kind of the same question for the lone males. I was wondering how certain you are that those males actually were not a part of a group.
Thank you, Beth. I may start with the second question, where you were asking how were we confident with the solitary males in the Gishwati. Here, I'd like to mention that apart from this survey, we also have an habituated group in the Gishwati where we did daily behavioral ecology data collection, and we could see movement between movements of males and both resident and extra males. Normally, extra males live around the groups, and they can join the kin groups during the mating season. And during the study period, during the surveys, when we found lone males or just solitary males, we one of the survey team could double check whether there is no other group around, so that we were sure that it was really a solitary male. And the second question was about the movement across the corridor, right?
No, there I was just wondering how confident you are in the estimates of 2 to 26, but I think you kind of answered that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Good. Okay, well, still people feel free to unmute. I'm going to start reading off the questions in the chat. So there's one question from Adrian, and he had a question about the methods used to get to the total number of golden monkeys at both study sites. Are there some unique features used to differentiate individuals from one another so that you did not double count or replicate individuals in the counting?
Yeah, thank you so much. The point process modeling is a specific R package which helps to estimate the density of surveyed individuals or primates. And here, I can say that the package itself has a kind of yeah. Here I can, just to be simple, here we're estimating, we were observing the distance between the groups or monkeys, between us observers and the monkeys. And we also measured the angle between us, observer, and the monkeys in order to get a perpendicular distance, so that both of those data are processed through the ppm, so that we can estimate the density of the animals we're observing. And during the analysis, we could see that the data were normally distributed, so there were no problems in the double counting of the animals.
All right, great. Okay. We have another question. If that didn't answer, just let us know, Adrian. And I'm going to move on to a question from Tony, and he's asking about the restoration ideas. The intact natural forest has a very large amount of plant diversity, and restoration plantings may be not so diverse. So how to decide the key plant species to use for restoration?
Yeah, thank you. I think here, as you may know, the primate species found in the Gishwati Forest are mainly frugivorous, either golden monkeys, lhoesti monkeys, and the chimpanzees. All of them are mostly frugivorous species. So we think that by planting fruiting trees can be a good choice in order to provide more habitat, more space for those primates living in the Gishwati Forest. But from that, as I said, the golden monkeys in the Volcanoes National Park were found in a bamboo zone. Therefore, by adding bamboo into the trees or into plant list used for restoration is of paramount, is very important, because we could say that bamboo can even host more population of golden monkeys comparing to fruiting trees. So my ideas is just to target those trees or plants used by the primate species found in the study areas.
Good. I hope that answered your question, Tony. Then we have a question from Dr. Christine, and she's asking about the primate species that was found in Kakamega Forest that you mentioned, and as well as in VNP and Ishwati and Nyungwe. But I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding, because yeah, it was a blue monkey. I think in Kakamega it's not the same subspecies of blue monkey. But anyway, what explanation could be given?
Yeah, I was saying that, thank you. I was saying that the density of golden monkeys in Rwanda or in the Volcanoes National Park was similar to the density of blue monkeys found in the Kakamega Forest. So we don't have blue monkeys in the Volcanoes National Park, but we have blue monkeys in the Kakamega Forest. The density of golden monkeys in the Volcanoes National Park is similar to the density of blue monkeys in the Kakamega Forest. And I'd like to point out that golden monkey is actually a subspecies of blue monkeys.
Good, great. And feel free to, ask for clarification if that wasn't clear. And then we have a question from Goretti, and she's asking for more clarification about the density of primates in planted forest. The planted forests are currently inside the park or outside the park? And how do you judge regeneration pattern in the planted areas?
Yeah, thank you, Goretti. First of all, we couldn't estimate density in planted forests because we surveyed those areas in 2019, and during that period we just wanted to check on the distribution of primates in the Gishwati landscape, and we had very few observations which may not help to estimate density of primate species. And I'd like to point out that we only observed the golden monkeys in the forest, but given that it was a few observations, we couldn't estimate density. About restoration in the planted forest, the restoration program can think of expanding the habitat of primate species by connecting the nearest part of Gishwati National Park. And I think there is an ongoing project, which has initiated landscape restoration in the Gishwati landscape. And I think Goretti knows that project very well.
Good. Any other comments about that? I don't know if Goretti, you want to add anything?
Okay. Hello.
Yes,
Hi,
hi, Antoine. Go ahead.
Professor Anton.
Yes, I thank you, Deo, for your nice presentation.
Thank you.
I followed your slides, and I would like to know what is the difference between a golden monkey and a blue monkey. This is the one. Second, I have seen that the density, group density, didn't change. The group density of golden monkey from those data that your survey was related. Well,
Yeah.
what happened? Why it didn't change?
Okay. Why it didn't change? Okay. Thank you, Professor Antoine. First of all, the golden monkey is subspecies of blue monkeys. In the scientific name, blue monkeys are Cercopithecus mitis, while golden monkey is Cercopithecus mitis kandti. Therefore, a golden monkey is a subspecies of blue monkeys. For the second question about the variation around the group density, specifically in the golden monkey group density in the Volcanoes National Park in 2007, 2011, and 2017, 2018. I said that it's quite similar, but there is a large deviation around the density estimate in 2007 and 2011. And why do we have a large variation? Because there is, we had few observations. In 2007, we had only 35 observations, while in 2011, we had 44 observations. And following the rules or guidelines in analyzing the data related to estimating density of species, especially in primates, normally we should at least have 40 observations. And the 40 observations are normally recommended, and the 60 observations are better, and more than 60 observations are the best observation for performing a density estimates in the golden monkeys. So as you have more observations, you will have a lower deviation around the mean. Therefore, that's why in my conclusion, I said that the latest survey in 2017-2018, where we had around 117 observations in the Volcanoes National Park and 75 observations in Gishwati, those field observations have resulted in stable or just in good estimates, which had short variations around the mean, so that we can use those results, those final population size estimates as a baseline for future surveys. I think that provide more clearance, right?
Oh, okay, thank you. I have another question, a little bit another question. You
Yeah,
ended
no problem. Go ahead.
You ended by saying that we have endemic golden.
Yeah, actually, the golden monkey is an endangered species and endemic.
It means that you can't find other golden monkey outside of Rwanda, or what?
Yeah, the golden monkeys, yeah, endemic means restricted to a specific area. And I'd like to mention that the golden monkey is only found in the Virunga massif. The Virunga massif is a compound of Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda, Virunga National Park in Congo, and the Mukahinga National Park in Uganda. The second and only habitat of golden monkeys is Gishwati Forest. So that's why golden monkey is endemic to this region, what we call region, but specifically found in those two fragments I said.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you for those questions, Antoine. I'm going to go to, we still have some time, so I'm going to go to Anthony's question. Given the fact that local human population is going to continue to increase and it will result in illegal use of the forest, how do you hope to address this challenge to restrict habitat destruction, which could result in the loss of this species, the golden monkey? And then a second question is, given that animal distribution is highly connected to plant species distribution, did you observe any connection between plant species and the distribution of the golden monkey?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think the first question is a great one. That's why during the end of my presentation, I said that an action plan is needed in order to draw solutions to the problems around the golden monkey and its habitat. And I say that because given improved protection, illegal human activities are still present. So we think that action plan will handle all those problems related to illegal human activities and golden monkey habitat. And the second question about animal distribution and plant species distribution, here I'd like to say yes. Yes. Why? The golden monkey was only observed in the bamboo zone in the Volcanoes National Park. Bamboo is the key habitat, but also provide key food for golden monkeys. There is another study which shown that bamboo provide up to 70% of total feeding records of total deaths in golden monkeys. So that bamboo is the real habitat and the key food for golden monkeys. In the Gishwati, golden monkeys were found feeding on fruits. Actually, the Gishwati golden monkeys is more frugivores compared to the Volcanoes National Park golden monkeys. And we found monkeys in many monkeys in the fruiting trees. We found many, and we found chimpanzees, lhoesti monkeys, together with the golden monkeys in the tropical montane forest, which looks like a natural forest because it experienced a few human-induced threats. Therefore, that's why I think that we have seen those primate species there. So, observations of primates during our study were connected or related to the available distribution of key food plant species. Thank you.
Okay, good. I hope that answered your question, Anthony. And Lavan, he had a question. Could you suggest something relating to the ongoing climate change with golden monkeys elevation-based distribution?
Sorry?
Can you make any suggestions related to the impacts of climate change and the golden monkey distribution along an elevation gradient?
Yes. I would like to mention that recent studies have found a possible impact of climate change to the bamboo. And the bamboo, as you may know, bamboo is a key food for golden monkeys. And we think any activity that target climate change adaptation strategies is, yeah, and that's why, again, the action plan, that's why we suggested to have an action plan in order to check the impact of all threats of the golden monkey habitats and found possible solutions. That's what actually the action plan will deal with.
Good. Good. Okay, thank you for that, Laban. And then there's a question from Method. What do you think about inbreeding? The inbreeding issue, is it a problem? Are there any data about inbreeding in the golden monkey population in BNP or Gishwati? And do you think that reintroduction could help solve that problem of inbreeding? And then, do you have any ideas about the minimum population that can generate a stable new population?
Yeah, question.
Yeah, I think Method is thinking about doing his PhD too.
Yeah. Here, I'd like to say that, first of all, thank you, Danny, for this great question. I also had some similar think about that. For the population in the Volcanoes National Park, which is estimated around 4,600 individuals, I think we have enough individuals there. But the Gishwati Forest, given to its size, a small forest with a small population, and we think that there is possible in a breed. Therefore, we have, in a separate study, we have recommended 5 studies in order to check possible inbreeding, especially in the Gishwati population, and may recommend possible translocation of some individuals from Volcanoes National Park to Gishwati. And that will be, the translocation can be a recommendation from genetic studies specifically on the golden monkey population in Gishwati.
Great, yeah, thanks for that question, Method, and Daniel for passing it on. All right, and then Goretti has another question. What is your recommendation to manage the planted forest to suit the habitat of primates?
Yeah, thank you, Goretti. The planted forest belong to private companies and private people, and I think it would be good if the action plan include the collaboration with those owners, landowners, so that they can see, they can work together in order to see how they can help in the survival of golden monkeys found in the forest. Because, you know, they can harvest their forest anytime, and any harvest can affect inhabitant golden monkey. Therefore, I think it's really important to collaborate with the forest owners in order to find a solution for the primates living in those forests.
All right, good. I hope that helps answer your question, Reddy. That was a great question. And then we're almost out of time. There's one question, so this is going to get you back to your primatology roots, Deo. There's a question about the difference between old world monkeys and new world monkeys, and the relationship to the monkeys in the Gishwati Makura and the Volcanoes National Parks.
Yeah, and I'd like to start with the latest question, the latest part of the question, the relation between golden monkeys in Gishwati and the Gishwati National Park, between Volcanoes National Park and Gishwati National Park. First of all, we think that those habitats were connected. Therefore, the golden monkey populations found in those forests were sometimes connected back in the 40s or just before the forests were disconnected. For all the monkeys and the new monkeys goes to geography, and all the monkeys are monkeys found in Africa, Madagascar, and the New World monkeys and primates found in America.
All right, great. Thank you. We're just at 4 o'clock, so once again, we've just kept in our time limit, and really appreciate everyone showing up today. If you are interested in giving a talk, please contact Daniel, and he is the one that organizes these seminar talks, and we'd love to hear from people, young and old, from anywhere in the world. If you're doing any project that you want to talk about, I think we can have enough people to be interested in it. And it can be a research project, an idea, an ongoing research, or a completed project. It can also be a conservation project. That's something we're also interested in if it's not strictly research. So yeah, we hope to see you all again next week. And Daniel did make a request in chat that you can go ahead and put in your name and your email address if you are not receiving these announcements into your inbox, and then you can start getting them. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Deo. Thanks for all the great questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you all next week. Stay well.